Morrison's haul, not good. I'm going to have to start going to the supermarket on other evenings. So I go Sunday morning and I go Tuesday evening at about 6 when I'm on my way out to my clean anyway. I think I'm going to try a few more this week. So I'll do Tuesday. If Tuesday's no good, then I'll give Wednesday and Thursday a go as well. So today I spent £2.17 and I picked up the only two vegetables in the whole shop that were discounted. Cavallo Nero, which is like a kind of cabbage. These were £1.49, 38p each. They're 200 grams, there's two of those. Now I have some greens in at the moment, but I had to buy those using Nectar prices because I haven't seen any in the shops on discount for ages. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to blanch these and put these in the freezer for a rainy day, because why not? And then everything else I bought, I'm afraid to say, is a UPF. So pack of crumpets were 55p down to 41. These are Morrison's, but they're not the cheap ones, they're the next one up. And I bought two pizzas just because I fancied doing some hand decorated pizzas. I just load them up with other things. So there were two of these. These were 99p down to 50p each. They're just like cheese and tomato naff savers pizzas, but I load them up with other things, other vegetables and sauces and stuff, and they're quite fun. So I think I might keep one out and put one in the freezer. And that is it. That is the sum of Morrison's on a Sunday morning. Very little in, nothing on the reduced count, like the reduced cans aisle. I haven't seen anything worth picking up there in a long time. And the discounts weren't even very discounty today. There was a lot of stuff on the chilled aisle, but it wasn't cheap at all. It really wasn't. This was literally all I got. So what I will do, I will put the usual up there to show what I would have saved. Oh, what else am I going to do today? Well, today is hair dye day. I need to tidy myself up ready for Christmas, ready to be presentable. I'm going over to see my best friend next week as I'm recording this, and I want to be a little bit presentable, and then that'll be me presentable through Christmas and New Year. I don't do the hair dye very often. I'm quite careful with it, so I just do the roots and then just blend it, because look, I'm definitely going grey. Look at me. Anyway, I wouldn't mind if it was like even, but it's like just in patchy bits. I mean, obviously because it grows and that has the dye on it, I guess. Anyway, so that's me rambling. I'm going to get on and sort out these Cavallo Neros. Going to put those in the freezer. One of the pizzas in the freezer. Probably the crumpets in the freezer. And that's it. Yeah, just getting on with stuff today. Got a bit of housework to do. That's it. Interesting Sunday. So today is hair dye day. Let's see how we get on. So all the bits that I need. I only use half of one of these at a time because I'm only doing the root bits, and these are expensive. Well, expensive for me. These are about £7 each now. They used to be a fiver, but cost of living, everything's going up. So look, it's cool today, and I've put on layers that are it doesn't matter if they get dyed because they're dark anyway, because I always end up throwing dye everywhere, but also I can take them off without having to take them over my head, because then the dye gets everywhere. But it means I'm not dressed as warmly as I'd like to be, so it's a little bit chilly, so I need to get on with this. Looking forward to the hot shower that comes afterwards and getting all the hair dye off. So let's prep for this. So I need to decant half of this into a separate container so that I can then do the dye and then transfer the remaining of that back into here so I can save it for the next time, if that makes any sense to anybody. So half and half, roughly. It never seems to go wrong, so to speak. So, you know, it's roughly a half and half thing. Oops. Yeah, that will do. Let's put that aside for the moment. And then we're going to put roughly half of this into there. It's roughly half of that. Lid on. Let's give that a good shake. And then what I need to do next is I need to Vaseline up my face so that I don't get dyed because this stuff will stain your skin. Now this, I just used cheap Vaseline. This is like Poundland for I think £2. Much cheaper than the proper Vaseline and does exactly the same job. So all I'm doing is I'm going to put, you can put as much as you like on it. It's a nice moisturiser. And ears, always do your ears. Ears get covered in dye. So just smear a bit of that on. There we go. That's that bit done. Knock the top off that. It's in the bin. Now the gloves. And I'm going to start at the top middle. Actually get the stuff on first. I hate this job. I'd much rather someone else do it for me, but I can't afford it. And this is why I don't do it very often. I do it to kind of just tidy myself up a bit. And I don't even do that good a job at it because I never get into all the bits because you can't see what you're doing on yourself, you see. It's really difficult. I can only see the front. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that there is grey at the back as well at this level. And that's why I focus on the front bits and then do the rest of it upside down and just do what I can. It never looks that bad when it's done. It's not like it looks like a disaster. So what I will do is do most of it, blend it through to the ends a bit, and then put it up with a hair clip and let it sit for a bit. So that's that little front bit done. Now I'm going to try and do the back. Almost there. Right. There we are. Right, now let's get this up. And now I need to get these bits of dye off. Does the job. Look, gone. Get that bit there. I think that's the only mess I actually made. And now I'm going to wait 20 minutes, probably half an hour, and then wash it off, and I'll show you how I look afterwards. Well, it hasn't covered it all up. I can still see quite a lot of grey. I have a lot more grey than I used to, so I think I need to think about changing my colourant. Get one that's specifically for grey. Look at that streak of it right there. It's missed this whole section. This is where the worst of it is for some reason. It needs to be more on one side than the other. Anyway, my hair at least looks a bit happier, a bit livelier. I have to investigate a different hair dye and save up nectar points so that I can buy it. This is like a proper luxury treat. I don't do things like this very often. I'm not really into beauty stuff. It's like, but it definitely livens my hair up a bit and makes me look a bit more presentable, because I looked pretty bedraggled before. I've got all my lovely Tresemme stuff on, and then there's this lovely, called coconut water, but it's like a hair oil that you put on when it's damp and then you dry it in, and my hair is like silk. I was given it by somebody who was given it and doesn't use it, and now I'm a convert. I've had a tube of it and it's lasted me all year. Don't know if she gave it to me that it was last year or the year before. Anyway, I've never had to buy any because it lasts forever. But I'm getting low, so I'm going to have to buy some more of that. It's not expensive. So this is the stuff. I don't know if you can see that on here. It's a bit shiny. This is it. And it's like a weightless hair oil. It's really nice. It's not greasy. And it puts a little bit of weight into my hair. But like nice weight. So it feels... I mean, my hair's thick anyway. But I look more presentable now. Better. this camera is slightly better for the night lights. Right, so I've been over to Morrison's. I was supposed to go and do my clean tonight, but I haven't. As I went past the building, all the lights are on, there are people in, and I'm not in the mood for small talk. So I've done my Morrison's haul, and I came home because I don't want to talk to anybody today. And I will go over tomorrow evening and do the clean step, because it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, as long as it gets done. And I've done Wednesday before and I haven't been able to get over there. So anyway, so Patience has been kind of rewarded today. What did I spend? I spent exactly £4 in Morrison's today, and I've been holding off on purchases because there haven't been any good discounts on veg and things like that. But today we did quite well. No sandwiches, so there's nothing for Wednesday lunch tomorrow. I'll have to make that up as I go along. But vegetables is pretty good. So I have a net of wonky courgettes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 of them here. They were £2.75. £2.75. Down to 69p. So that's really good. I love courgettes. You can tell it's Christmas season. So many remaindered sprouts. It's ridiculous. These were 85p down to 22p. And there were loads of them. So I took 3. I still have 1 in the freezer from last time. But if yellow sticker beels are getting a bit thin on the ground, I need to conserve all the veg I can. And you can freeze pretty much everything now. What else did I get? Something I've wanted for ages but haven't seen remaindered. Onions. Look at the size of these onions. They're huge. These were £1.69 down to 43p. And there were quite a few of those as well. So I bought 2 of them. These are great. They'll last for ages. Any that are left over, I can dice up, lightly fry it, and stick those in the freezer as well. Nothing wrong with that. I also got donuts. I know. They were, as usual, £1 down to 25p. And the last thing I got, I wasn't going to pick this up, but I picked it up a couple of times and I thought, is this a good deal or not? I'm not sure, but I picked it up anyway. This is brawn. I don't mind brawn. I don't have a problem with most like meat and offal and stuff like that. This is a big chunky pack of brawn. It's 0.616 of a kilogram. It was £6.16. That's insane for that. Just kind of random meat. Oh yes, it's 550 grams. Kind of a weird random meat there. And it was down to £1.54. That's a hell of a drop in price. There was only the one there. It's like brawn in, I don't know, I think it's in that jelly stuff. But this will do really well. I have no idea if I can freeze it. It's basically says it's seasoned pork with pork gelatin, so it's almost like, you know like the jelly you get in your pork pies. It's like that. What can I do with it? It doesn't say. Allergy advice, keep refrigerated. I reckon I could put some of that in with some vegetables, dice, fry it all up, and then put it in the freezer. I could make casserole with some of this. But honestly, I think this will probably last. I'm not terribly fussy about fridge things. I'm careful with fish and chicken, but anything else seems to last. So that was my massive saving of the day. I reckon I could get, there's got to be at least 6 or 7 meals out of that, so that's got to be worth it. When I put meat in food, I tend to ration it just because it's usually the most expensive thing. It's the thing that's harder to come by. So if I buy like a pack of bacon, I'll divide it up into individual rashers and use 1 rasher per meal kind of thing. And that way I can put it in the freezer and make it last long. I can have a rasher of bacon one night, I can have something another night, and I just have to root round in the freezer. And that's it. That is my entire shop. Lost my receipt now. Anyway, I'll put the information up there as to what I would have paid if I bought everything full price and what I would have saved. I'm back nice and early. Look, it's only 6:30, which is nice. I'm going to go and get my layers on because it's blooming cold, and I'm going to have a cup of tea and a donut. That's it. That's the end of my Tuesday. This morning I am heading over the hills to see my best friend, who I haven't seen since August, and the reason for that is that I live far away from everybody, so I have to do all the driving. So it's going to be a couple of hours. I'll spend the day there. Have to gear up for these days. I can find them quite overwhelming. My best friend is really into Christmas. They put their tree up on the 17th of November, which I find so distressing. So I kind of have to gear myself up for it, and then very often, you know, the next day I kind of need a down day just to recharge. So we'll see how we get on. We'll be fine. All the travelling as well, so you've got 4 hours of driving out this morning and then coming back in the dark late across the hills again. It'll be fine. I've got a good podcast selection lined up, and I'm going to use this opportunity to record some of the journey using what is now the new camera phone and see how it behaves. I think it's been better. I've used it on a couple of short journeys and it looks a lot better. The quality is a lot better. So I'm going to record the journey going over, or at least some of it, and then I can see if I'm having the same problems I had with the other phone, which was a really old phone. So I'm hoping that this will be better. So just adding this in as a thing that I did this week that was actually different and not my normal routine. So I have Christmas presents and my best friend's birthday present here. Her birthday is 2 days before Christmas. I used to, for a couple of years, I would go and see them on my way down south for Christmas. So I'd drive across to them, do the day, and then leave there. So I was leaving home at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't be getting to my parents till like 8 o'clock in the evening, and it was such an exhausting day with so much stuff all piled up in the car and everything. And for the sake of how much petrol it actually is, because that's what I was trying to do, conserve the petrol, but for how much it actually is, I'd rather do the two things separately and make them more manageable. Plus this year I'm going down a bit later than I normally would because I've got cleaning jobs still to do, and I don't want to feel like really rushed. So that's what I'm doing. So get myself organised, warm the car up. It's not too bad today. It's wet and overcast, surprisingly, but we are frost free. Temperatures are back up and they're going to climb again next week, which is so good. I'm so pleased about that. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have a good day, and hopefully some of this journey will be a little bit in better quality. Let's see how we get on. So I hope you like that little journey from yesterday. It's a lovely drive. It's better when it's greener and sunnier, but you know, the countryside is a beautiful place. Yesterday was pretty good. Wasn't as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be. Quite chilled. We had a good natter, put the world to rights as you do, and then I came home and I got back home here at about 7:30. This morning I went over and did my weekend cleans, and I've had to lay down the law a bit on one of my cleaning jobs. So the one that I just do the hour and a half at the weekend hasn't paid me. And today's invoice is the 4th in a row, so that's 4 weeks they have not paid me. Now, when I sent in the first one 4 weeks ago, I did get an email from the office assistant saying the boss was away at the moment, he was having some issues, personal issues. This one will be paid next week with the other one, and then I've not heard anything. So we are now on to 4 invoices. So I've said to them that unless they pay me by close of play on Friday, which is going to be the last business day, because these offices will close until the new year, then I'm not going to clean for them again until they pay me. Which means if they don't pay me by Friday, they're not going to get cleaned for the holidays, and they're going to come back in the new year to bins that have sat there for 2 weeks and God knows what else. It's not on. It's just not on. I know it's a minimum wage job. I know it's a NAF job. I know it's only an hour and a half a week, but it's £17.62 that now owes me over £70. And if this was all the money I had to rely on, I'd be in trouble, because 70 quid, actually, it builds up really fast, and the agreement is that I'm paid weekly when I submit the invoices. They rarely pay on time. They're not particularly good. There's a number of times when I've had to submit an invoice again to remind them that they haven't paid. So I've said to them, you know, if you don't pay this by Friday, you're not cleaning until you pay me. Anyway, so that's Saturday dealt with. Now, Sunday, I don't think I am going to go over and do a Sunday morning haul this week, because I've then only got a week until I go away, and I need to make sure that I've used up all the food in the fridge and the cupboard that needs using, so that I'm not left with food that I can't deal with while I'm away. Vegetables, generally, anything that's left I will freeze, but I'm running short of freezer space because I bought all those onions and things. I've got a lot more in the freezer at the moment than usual, so I'm running short on space. So, yeah, no shop for me tomorrow, I think, which means that my food bill that I've got at the moment, I don't know what it is, I'll have to have a look at that. It's only about £17, £18, is all I will have spent in December on food, which is pretty good. Yeah, so that's Saturday. That's the end of that. Sunday morning, and I feel rough as anything. I had a banging headache last night. I feel really drained today, and the headache, I think, is going to come back. Anyway, so this morning, I know I said I wasn't going to go to Morrison's, and I didn't. I had to walk over there to post something because I sold something on Vintage yesterday. But also there were some freebies that I could get at Sainsbury's. So I made myself walk down to Sainsbury's this morning. And what did I spend? The total came to £11.98. I spent £10 in Nectar points. And so I actually spent £1.98. So let's have a look first at the ordinary things I bought. I bought bananas, so I've got a week before I go away. So a pack of bananas I can get through. I needed some milk, but I don't have room in my freezer now for 6 pints, and I need to leave enough space in the freezer for all the veg that I won't use up before I go away, which I will chop and freeze as well, so that it doesn't get thrown away. But I haven't got any milk in the freezer at all, And although the milk I've got out now will last me until I go away, I want to have some milk for as soon as I get back. So I bought a 2 pint. And I can fit 2 pints in my freezer. And I bought some shampoo because I needed shampoo. And right, so these are the 3 things. They were all from the same brand. It's a company called Smug, who are, I don't know, I guess a cheese brand. So this is grated blended oat and dairy cheddar. There's that one. That one was £2.25, and it's not full, it's only full to there. The other one is the sliced blended oat and dairy cheddar slices. The slices were also £2.25. Doesn't say how many are in there. Not that it matters, it was free anyway. And the other one was the block of cheddar, blended oat and dairy cheddar. There's that, that's quite a good size. That one came to, that was £4. Wow, so expensive. Thankfully they were all free. So that's quite a lot of savings on there. And what that means is that all of that was free, that I bought with Nectar Points, will now be cashed back in as cash. So I've cashed in a whole bunch of Nectar Points, which will go back in the bank. So that's pretty good. The other good thing on these is they have really long use by dates. So all these, this one is dated next February. This one is next February, and this one is January. So these will sit in the fridge while I'm away, so I don't have to use them all up before I go away. So that was really good. So as usual, I will put all the information up there. We saved quite a lot of money on here. Nice one. Yeah, the milk was £1.20. The bananas were 78. I bought shampoo, which was £1.50, which doesn't count on the food shop anyway. That goes into my everything else spend. But they're basically all free, so that was pretty good. Excellent. That's the end of that. This morning is an earlier start than usual. It's Tuesday, and my week has been kind of changed around a little bit. So last night I had or yesterday afternoon, evening I think, I had a text asking if I could come over and do my fortnightly Tuesday clean at 9 instead of 10, which I've said yes to because it's only the one and it's my last one of the year. So I had to get up at 7 this morning, and it's not nice. It's dark. I hate getting up in the dark. It reminds me of all those horrible London commutes I used to do. And of course, whereas normally it would take me 20 minutes on a good day to get to this place, that pushes it up into 30 minutes because I'm leaving earlier. That now means I'm stuck in some of the rush hour and school traffic, which is really annoying. So getting on and doing what we can. We should be there on time. And my Wednesday clean, which would be tomorrow, has been moved to Friday because they can't do that. I also have a midweek clean to do. Normally it'd be this evening. Is it going to be this evening or is it going to be tomorrow? I haven't decided yet. I will probably do it this evening because if I get the invoicing quick enough, they might pay me before everyone shuts down for Christmas, which is on Friday. And speaking of being paid, I mentioned about how the other cleaning contract, that's the private one, I'm not through the agency on that one, they hadn't paid me for 4 weeks. Well, I emailed them on the Saturday with my latest invoice because I did a clean on Saturday, and lo and behold, within a few hours of opening on Monday morning, they paid me. So I don't know if they had forgotten, decided I wasn't important enough to pay before Christmas. Maybe they were hoping that I wouldn't say anything, or they just don't think that I matter because it's a minimum wage job. I have no idea. I think I often get shoved to the bottom of the pile. They're very slow to pay compared to the other business, and of course all the private ones pay me on the day, which is when you're supposed to pay, but of course businesses never do. So they're up to date now, which means that they get their clean on Saturday as well. So Saturday morning I will have 2 cleans to do because those offices will now be shut for Christmas, and then that's me done. That's cleaning finished for 2024, thank God. And I shan't miss it for 2 weeks. And I've still got to do all my packing, clean my own home, change beds, all that sort of thing, so that when I go, everything is clean and ready for when I get back, because that's how I like it. So it's going to be quite a busy week in terms of preparation and things like that. I've also had a small flurry of sales. I've had an Etsy sale, which I'm going to drop off at the post office today, and I've had a couple of vintage so far, and I'm going to keep all those shops open until Friday morning because I can still get stuff out by close of play Friday, or if they're vintage and they're going to the post-it boxes, then I can still send stuff out on Saturday and even last thing on Sunday morning before I go. So there's still time for things like that. So if you're watching anything on my vintage and you want it, I'll be shutting on Friday morning. And that's it. They say the mornings are starting to draw out already, although the evenings aren't. So it's now, what is it? It's almost 8:30, and it's probably almost as light as it's going to get today, to be honest with you. Another overcast day. So that's it. 2024 in the north is done, and I'm pleased that's over with. Cleans are all done and finished. I'm packed. The house is clean. The food is sorted. And first thing tomorrow morning, I'm hitting the road. So this is, I think this is going to be my last weekly update for this year. I have a bunch of other posts already scheduled for the rest of the year because I have a backlog as usual, and so I think I'm gonna kind of take a break. There's not going to be much to record while I'm away, I'm not going to have the space away from people to record. There won't be much going on. I've got a lot of admin to do, a lot of work-based stuff, other things to sort out. So I will probably take a bit of a break from it, because my recording has been a bit incessant this year and I need a rest. I'm really tired from it. Anyway, so that's it. I hope Christmas and New Year are good for you. Thank you to everyone who has supported me this year. It's been a bit of an up and down year. It's been my first monetized year. It's pretty positive in that respect. I'm finishing off a financial audit, which I can't finish until the end of the year, because obviously there's still monies going in and out, and I want to get it as close to exact as possible. So at the beginning of 2025, I will post that up, and then you can have a look and see exactly what I have spent this year, what I have saved, what I have made in income, and you can see what my year has been like, which will be interesting. Yeah. It's not too bad, actually. Running over the figures, I've done okay this year. Anyway, so that's the end of that. This is the last proper week in the life post for this year, but there's other bits and pieces to come. I'm having ideas already for next year, which is really helpful. Bit of inspiration, I've needed that, and I've got to edit some posts. Those the ask me a question posts, I'm starting to put together the answers for that, because I've had questions. So I've got a ton of stuff still to do. I'm not going to be just sitting around eating mince pies and drinking mulled wine all Christmas. If only. So that's the lot. So yeah, have a good break, whatever you're doing, whether you're celebrating or not. And thank you everyone who has supported me in every way imaginable. And yeah, that's it. I've run out of things to say. I'm so tired now. I just need to go now. I've hit that point where everything stops and I just want to get on the road. So speak to you soon. Bye bye.